Hello, my friends. Jill here in my empowered fitness community for women over 40 looking to get energized, confident, and strong. Today is Wednesday, and so today we have our live Q&A session where I'm here to answer all of your questions about menopause and weight loss and anything you want to discuss. So we've got some questions from some of the new ladies who've joined our group this week. And if you have a question, if you hop on live, then I'm happy to answer it. Or if you are watching on YouTube or wherever you might be watching on the replay, then let me know you came, you watched. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can always message me, or even better, set up a call with me where you and I can go over your goals personally. We can talk about what you're struggling with. We can talk about what you want to achieve, and we can create a plan together and see it through so that you can be getting to your goals finally. So today we're going to start with Candy, and she mentioned to me when she joined our group that she's dealing with aches and pains, and that's holding her back in her fitness journey here. And she wants to know, how do I get it all under control? Now, I'm not sure if she means just all the aches and pains or everything in general in life, get everything in control. If you're looking for getting your entire life in control, I am not the one to ask, because I feel like I'm also constantly juggling a million balls between my kids, my personal life, my husband and I, fitness, my golf game, and all the things, and just, showing up to make dinner every day. And so, and these days I have another full-time job, which is picking up mangoes off the floor or off the ground and cutting them before they go bad. So, I live in South Florida, and I'd love to know where you're all from as well, if you want to let me know. But with aches and pains, Candy, my big question would be, where is this coming from? Is this a condition that you have? Do we have an autoimmune disorder? Do we have an injury? Are you thinking that these aches and pains are just new from menopause? Because we definitely want to identify why you're feeling these aches and pains, and we want to get that under control for sure. And so that requires more of a personalized conversation. So I think we should start there. I've included the link if anybody wants to set up a call with me so that we can do that. But each person is going to be different. And that's why I personally like to work with my clients on a very personal basis so that we can get over your hurdles together. And sometimes that takes a little bit of that mental coaching, a little bit of pep talks, and personalizing or customizing the work that we're doing. Okay. So we wouldn't want to do things that, throw Candy into a program that other people are doing if she's not ready for it. We want to make sure that we're easing her in and building up her tolerance for hard work, right? Okay, so let's move on to Sherry. When I asked what is holding you back from achieving success in your fitness and nutrition, Sherry said, motivation during perimenopause is holding me back. And she says that her goal is to lose fat and tone up and be the healthiest version of her possible. And so let's start with this, and then she has another question afterwards. So she's struggling with motivation, and she feels it's holding her back. Her goals are to lose weight and tone up and be the healthiest version of her possible. So I think, first of all, if we separate these things, based on her goals to lose fat and tone up, that does not require motivation. And in fact, that can be her motivation, right? And so you don't need motivation to work on the habits that will create the healthiest version of you. You just have to identify what those things are and start doing them consistently, right? Motivation has nothing to do with that. Your motivation should be either the joy, the confidence, the energy that you'll feel when you start taking consistent action, or the fact that you will no longer feel the negative feelings that you are feeling that are making you miserable. So that in itself is motivation. What Sherry needs is to identify what she needs to do, and then she needs a solid plan to do it. I don't care if she's motivated to do it she's got to show up and do it. And that's what's going to get her to her goals of losing fat and being toned. And if she waits for motivation, she ain't going to get there, right? She's got to create her own motivation, right? Nobody's going to do that for her, except for me. I'm going to keep giving her pep talks and encouraging her to take matters into her hands, to leave alone the feelings, right? So motivation is a feeling, and some days I don't feel motivated to get out of bed, but I do it because I got to. If I want to make money, get my workout done, get to my goals, and be productive, right? So not all of us feel motivated to do things all the time. Half the time I don't feel motivated to make dinner, but I still get up and do it because my family is needing to eat, right? So I think that it's really important that we separate this, like, I'm going to wait until I feel like doing something, from I need to create this plan, be consistent on it, because you're going to see the work as totally different, in a different light, once you see what it does for you, once you see where it gets you. Then showing up for the work is going to be super motivating and super exciting. So in terms of losing fat and toning up, number one, you need a really solid fitness program. And when you start a fitness program like one of mine, like I'm looking at my workouts this week. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more workouts to do. And I have a lot going on this week. So I can't like wake up and say, do I feel motivated today to do my workout? No. I've got to lay it out on the calendar. When am I doing which workout? And I got to create that, that accountability, and boom, show up for it, right? So when Sherry has a really solid strength training program, that is going to create a toned body. If she doesn't get that, she ain't going to get to that goal ever. She got no chance if she doesn't do the work, right? Losing fat is going to happen when she starts adding more muscle to her body. That is the big difference. And she'll need a meal plan that matches, that aligns with her fitness. So I always start with the fitness plan in terms of what do I want to achieve. And then I get the nutrition plan that matches it, okay? So this program that I'm testing right now is a new program of mine where I'm actually changing the structure of the workouts from week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then at the bottom, I chose to also change the nutrition every week. And that's something that I have not created before, but I'm excited to test it out and then give it to my clients, or have any of you who are interested in becoming new clients test this out as well and see, how does that make us feel? How does that change our physique? Because I'll tell you something, what brings about change is changing things up and making that decision and that commitment to change the approach and then see it through, okay? Another question that Sherry had was, why do we slow down and gain weight during this time in our lives? And so we cannot say that as a collective we, because that's not happening for all of us. I will tell you something, that it's all about who you surround yourself with, in my opinion. If you are surrounding yourself with other women who are complaining about the changes they see, who are not doing the activities they need to do, who are doing the opposite with the nutrition, who are sharing all the wrong advice together, and trying things that are really not great long-term strategies, then you are going to see everybody fail around you and be miserable, and you're going to think that that's the norm, that's what everybody's going through. But if you're like me and my clients, and you're constantly surrounded by women who are in a program, showing up with excitement, focusing on the right inputs, focusing on the right outcomes, and celebrating the journey, the joy, the fun of it all the time, you're not going to feel and ask that question, because my clients are not saying, why are we all slowing down and gaining weight right now? My clients are not experiencing that. We're experiencing the opposite. And so I think part of it is being part of a community where that's not the belief, where nobody's saying like, oh, as we age, our metabolism slows, and as we age, we lose muscle. And, my clients are gaining muscle. My clients are gaining energy. My clients are gaining confidence. And so I think that's part of it is a mental thing. Part of it is an identity thing. And that was a big question that I proposed to my client group today is, what does science say about the importance of your identity? And do you see yourself as somebody who is investing their time, their energy, their effort into being the healthiest, strongest, most energetic version of themselves? Or are you investing all this time, effort, and energy and money and all this stuff into being a thinner version of yourself, or a lighter version, or a weight loss personality, right? Are you just like here on this weight loss thing? And it's really makes a huge impact as to what your focus is. If you're on this like constant, people who are in Weight Watchers, it's a constant negative, restrictive mentality, right? A diet culture versus think about like athletes who are training and eating and focused on being healthy and strong and good recovery and good lifestyle habits that will support everything they need to do. Like my son last night was like, I have to go to bed in 20 minutes. He's like, I just want to see what happens in this part of this TV show, and then I'm going to bed. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get my 8 hours of sleep tonight. This is a 15-year-old boy, and he's like, because I need to be on top of my game for my test tomorrow at school, and I need to be on top of my game for my soccer tryout, and I need to make sure my hamstring is rehabbed so I'm at my best. And and so there's an athlete mentality and a healthy, strong person mentality, and there's a diet culture mentality. And those who are solely, constantly focused on what the scale is doing and whatnot, it doesn't go as well for them. So that could be a big eye opener for many of you. If you're just constantly focused on the negatives, then that's what you're going to get more of, right? What we focus on expands. And so you have to stop focusing on the negative, or that's what you're just going to get more of. Okay. All right. So then we have Jane. Jane says she's not sure of what to eat. She says, why am I exercising, eating right, and gaining weight? Number one, it could be what I just talked about. If that's your focus, is the scale constantly going up and your fear of the number on the scale, you could be willing it to go up. You could actually be so stressed out about it that your body is reacting in the opposite way. Exercising every day does not equate to weight loss. Eating right does not always equate to weight loss as well. So, and in fact, in my experience, and I don't know if I posted this in our group, I posted on my Instagram the other day, what's wrong with gaining weight, right? Is there really anything wrong with gaining weight? Because we have this idea that the scale going up is always going to be a negative thing. But I posted this picture the other day of myself from 2017 when I was probably at my very lowest weight, about 135. And you can see there's like a vein going through my head and my eyes are sunken and my face is weird and thin and long, and I just didn't even look like myself. And then I have a picture of myself now at like 165 pounds, which after like what I ate this week with Mother's Day and all these other things we had, I'm at like 167 today, but I look so much healthier and so much more alive and so much stronger and so much more confident, so much more energetic. That's 30 pounds more than I was 9 years ago. Does it bother me at all? No, I love it. My son, my little son, who's turning 13 tomorrow, my little son, Jackson, he's taller than me. He's actually taller than his older brother as of yesterday too. Jackson drew on my weird little stick figure on my Mother's Day card. He drew a 6-pack on me. That's how he sees me, right? And so that's actually pretty cool. And so I weigh a lot more than I did at my lightest 9 years ago. And I don't see it as a bad thing. I am so much more of a person, of a personality, of a presence. And yeah, maybe I'm buying clothes that are not size 2 or 4 anymore, but does anybody really care? No. The measurement of my happiness in life is the relationships in my life, is the confidence that I walk around with, feeling good about the things, the people, the occupation that I spend my time on, and just feeling fulfilled. And I don't think I would feel fulfilled if I never ate my favorite things anymore, if I never, enjoyed holidays and celebrations. I just don't think I would feel fulfilled. And if it meant that I was skinnier and I didn't get to enjoy life, I would not be choosing skinnier, that's for sure. And so I would say, let's flip the script. Let's change it up. Let's maybe make a goal of gaining muscle and gaining muscle weight instead of always just trying to see a number that's less on the scale, right? So Jane, it could be that we need a new approach. Like I said, change brings change. If you're constantly doing the same thing, expecting a new result, it's just not how the body works, because the body adapts so quickly, and the body is so good at staying the same that if you're doing the same thing, then it's not going to give you a new result that you're looking for. So we have to change things often, which is why I'm really excited about my new program coming out. We're changing up our exercise technique each week, and we're changing up our nutrition each week. And I think that could be really, really cool and helpful for many of you who are just stuck, right? We don't want to be stuck. And if anything, at least we'd be changing things up and having fun changing things up each week, right? It's worth a try. All right, so let's move on. We've got Kristen. She says, I've stopped losing weight for no apparent reason. I don't cheat on my diet because I'm determined to lose weight. Why have I stopped losing weight? Well, it could be because you are not cheating on your diet, Kristen, right? So I cheat. I don't even call it cheating. I just eat things that I like to eat. Last night I made a mango bread. Hello, mangoes are my world this month while the billions of mangoes are falling off our tree. I made mango bread last night. It had a cup of sugar. It had a stick of butter. It had 2 cups of flour. I mean, is this on my diet? Probably not. Had I ever made a mango bread before? No. Did I want to know how it tasted? Yes. Was it delicious? So I ate a big piece? Yes. Do I care? No. Sometimes you have to switch things up. And so there's no reason why you're never allowed to enjoy things in life. And in fact, it can actually shake things up, right? So we become what we do most of the time, not what we do once in a while. So if I went out to my kitchen and usually I had a grilled chicken salad for lunch, and today I saw that there was leftover pizza in the fridge for my son's dinner the other day for Mother's Day, I grabbed a piece out and I ate it. Is that gonna kill my diet? Is that gonna ruin my goals? No. Is it actually even better to shake things up sometimes? Yes. Because it forces your body to change and adapt and to try and figure out what's going on here, right? I have more fuel here than normal. What do I do with it? So there's another thing. If your body is changing, but you're still doing the same old thing, then that can also be a reason why you stop losing weight. I think also, we all plateau. And no matter what we're doing, if you do it for too long, you're going to plateau. And that is why we change our approach. That is why usually I have a 4-week progressive strength training program for my clients. And we're changing, we're progressing every week. In this new program, we're literally changing the workouts every week. We're not just progressing the workouts, we're changing the workouts, we're changing our nutrition. We're doing more, less, this, that, adding, subtracting. And when your body is changing and you're still doing the same thing, it's possible that what you were doing before might not be effective now, right? So if you were somebody who in your 20s and 30s was doing boot camp classes and CrossFit classes all of the time, and you were staying super fit that way, and you're still doing those same classes in your 40s, 50s, 60s, then it's possible that your body is just changing and requires something different than what you were doing before. So we have to change our nutrition. We have to change our fitness. If we want to see a new result, we have to adapt to where our body is at now and the stage of life and what it requires. So we become more sensitive to sugars and carbs when we are in this transitional period, when we're in perimenopause through postmenopause. We become a lot more sensitive to long periods of high intensity cortisol spikes. So we have to change that up too. So we also, as our body ages, need more recovery time. So if you're never giving yourself recovery, and you're like, every day I have to do an hour of cardio, and you never take recovery, take days for stretching, or just like chilling, letting your body relax, that also can create more issues than help. So we need to change things up is the whole point, okay? All right, we've got 2 more ladies who've got questions for me here. We've got Melissa. She says, I don't know what else to do. I've done everything I know to lose the weight. She wants to be healthy and lose weight. And she says, what do hormones have to do with me being able to lose weight? So number 1, Melissa says she's done everything she knows. So guess what? It's time, Melissa, to learn something new. And that's what I love to do, is I love to educate on why things won't work anymore and which things we need to ditch and which things we need to get started on. And so that's something that we can do, is change things up. Melissa needs something new here in order to get a new result. This is a good theme for the day, huh? What do hormones have to do with me being able to lose weight? So as our hormones decline, we have 3 major hormones that are declining during perimenopause and menopause and beyond. We've got estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So when you think of, let's start with testosterone, right? Testosterone is that like big, manly, strong, hormone. And so when our testosterone declines, our body is not making muscle, strong bones. All the strength stuff that your body was doing on its own before, you've got to pick up the slack. And if you don't start creating and building muscle, then you're losing it. It's like it's going down. And if you're not pushing hard enough back to build muscle, then it's just going to keep declining. And muscle is the main driver of your metabolism. So less muscle means metabolism is going to slow, which means you have to be doing more strength training than you did when you had higher levels of testosterone. So that's one thing. Number 2, we'll go with progesterone. Progesterone is our stress management hormone. And when we have high levels of stress all the time, we have high levels of cortisol. Cortisol is a good thing. It fights stress, and it's like your fight or flight response hormone. But when you're constantly in a high state of cortisol, which is if you don't have this hormone helping you manage it anymore, and you're not doing the things that would help you relieve stress intentionally daily, then you're going to have issues and your cortisol is going to be high and your belly fat is going to increase, because that's what happens when we have high cortisol is we start to see more inflammation. We start to see more storage of belly fat. Okay. The next thing, and I think that comes from, long winters in the era of the cavemen and evolution and our bodies holding on to fat because of that fear of dying when we were cavemen and women, okay? So then we have estrogen. Estrogen is a fat storage, amongst other things, a fat storage management hormone. And when your estrogen declines, your body don't know how to handle fat stores and, blood sugar regulation and all these things. And so again, you need to do better things to help control fat storage. And so we need to be better in control of our nutrition and things that are not helpful anymore with that. Our body does not know how to handle sugar and insulin as well as it used to without estrogen. And so these are how hormones will affect your weight. And if you aren't doing the right things to help your body where your hormones used to help, or having your hormones replaced, then you might see those changes. But it doesn't mean you have to. You just have to know what to do. Okay? All right, last question. We've got Carrie. She says, I have very little energy these days and I don't know why. She says her goal is to get her energy back and to feel healthy and strong. And she's asking, how many minutes a day of cardio do I need to be doing? First of all, if you have very little energy these days, we need to figure that out. And so it would be great to have a call with Carrie so we can go over certain things like, are we overwhelmed and stressed? Because that can create exhaustion. Are we staying hydrated enough? Are we eating enough? Because many times women who are trying to lose weight because the scale number is the most important thing in the world to them, they're not even eating enough to stay alive every day and do the things they need to. So that could be a source of exhaustion. So we need to first look at what's creating, are you sleeping well, right? Are we creating an environment for good sleep? So there's a lot of different things that can affect energy levels. So that we need to start taking a look at. And then the other thing is, how much cardio are you doing? Because if you're doing a lot of cardio every day and you're under eating, that could take away all of your energy. And so sometimes it's so funny when people ask me how much cardio do I need to do. I might ask them, well, how much cardio are you doing now? Because somebody who's not doing any cardio, I might prescribe cardio. And for somebody who's doing a lot of cardio, I might tell them to stop doing cardio. And so why is that? Because you need to change what you're doing if you want to see change. That's like the theme of the day, right? So again, we have to keep changing things. And it was funny, I might have mentioned this a week or two ago. I was watching a podcast of somebody who, a well-known celebrity who walks, and a while back she was talking about weighted vest walking, and she was talking about, long walks, low intensity, steady state, taking 3 walks a day, doing 20,000 steps, blah, blah, blah. And now she's pushing this, never heard of it before this, Japanese walking, which is basically interval walking. And she says, this is the way to do it now. Well, it's not that one way of doing walking is better than the other. It's that you're changing the way you're doing it. And anytime you change things, your body has to adjust and kind of figure things out. And that creates just more work going on and more results. And then eventually that doesn't work anymore. And so you got to change it up again. And so with regards to cardio, again, that's one thing that is exciting about my new program that I'm building, because in each week we do a different amount of cardio. And in the first week we do 0 cardio. And so it's a way to change things up, right? So, I can't even prescribe how much in general to do each day, because in some of my fitness programs, and actually the majority of them, there is 0 cardio. And I think a lot of that depends on what the goal is, because at the beginning of your journey, my focus is for you to build enough muscle to actually be moving the needle in your body transformation and to make it a long-term transformation. If I started everybody saying, okay, welcome to my program, you have to do an hour and a half of cardio every day for the next 30 days, I could get you to lose weight that way. And I've done that before too. I've joined somebody's program. They told me to do an hour and a half of cardio every day, and it was ridiculous and exhausting. And they told me to eat only 1,200 calories. And I felt like I was starving for a month, and I lost 7 pounds, and I looked shredded at the end. But like 2 days later, I literally gained it all back because it wasn't sustainable. That's not long-term transformation strategy. So the better strategy is to not overdo it, to work on your muscle building, which is going to have a better long-term effect, and be okay with the fact that if you're not doing a ton of cardio and you're doing a ton of muscle building at the beginning, that you may not have some massive drastic weight loss, but in the long term, for what's important and what we all really want to feel and achieve, it's going to be the better strategy. So again, Carrie, I don't know, let's have a conversation and talk about how much cardio you're doing right now, and more importantly, how much weightlifting you're doing right now, because that is probably the more important topic of conversation. So let me know if you watched on the replay. Let me know if you learned something today. Repeat back to me what today's theme was if you did watch to the end, and hop on my calendar. Let's book a call together and have that conversation and get you excited, motivated, knowing what to do, doing it consistently, getting amazing results, being part of a community of women who love this journey, are getting results, and are just really excited to be on the journey and celebrating things every single week and having fun together. And I think we can really change up your perspective and change that self-identity and be comfortable with who you are, feel energized, confident, and strong. All right. Have a great day. I will see you next Monday for Monday Motivation. Bye all.